I'm Scarlet Fu.
And I'm Madison Mills. You're watching Bloomberg Quicktake. So 1 minute Bitcoin's price is up, the next it's down. First Elon Musk loves it, then he's not so sure. Some countries are embracing Bitcoin as legal tender, while others have some serious questions. Overall, it's fair to say Bitcoin had a pretty wild ride in 2021.
And you can look for that ride to continue in 2022. Bitcoin had a rocky start this year, tumbling below $40,000 for the first time since September. Now, for the crypto faithful, that plunge spelled opportunity to buy the dip. But what if you're new to Bitcoin? It may seem like there's no clear starting point. So here to bring us up to speed is Lisa Wang. She is partner at Checkmate Crypto. Lisa, so good to speak with you. You've created a Bitcoin bootcamp for newbies. How much time do you spend explaining terms like DeFi, HODL, laser eyes? Because for anyone who's late to the crypto scene, and really that's Maddie and me,
yes,
it can feel like the barrier to entry is really high.
Yeah, well, first off, there is a lot of crypto lingo, and I think that's a lot of times can deter people from even entering in the first place. So we demystify that right off the bat. And I also emphasize that it's really early. It still is really early, even though it feels like there's so much FOMO. But one of the things that makes the crypto industry intimidating for women is because it's still very much male dominated. And if you think of the entire financial system, it was created by men, for men. It's currently dominated by men. A 2021 US crypto report said that over 70% of crypto investors are still men. The average investor is a 38-year-old white male who makes over 100K a year. And so that's really difficult if you are a woman that's coming into the space and you don't see anyone like you. But what we emphasize in the bootcamp is that amongst the crazy world of crypto, there are incredible communities of female projects, especially female-led NFT projects. If you dive in, I have never seen so much collaboration, so much empowerment, and all of that is enabled by blockchain technology. Because when you think of NFT projects, for example, a lot of times people just see the JPEG and they get skeptical. They're like, I don't understand why someone would buy a JPEG when I could just take a screenshot. But I always say it's not about the JPEG. It's about the underlying fundamental ways in which people interact. Because if you think about it, when you buy into an NFT project, the owners, the investors become the owners.
Right.
So when the project succeeds, everyone in the community succeeds. And that has never happened before in funding.
Well, I want to jump in because like you mentioned, it's already pretty male dominated. So, I love a female empowerment moment. So that obviously sells me on getting involved. What's the first step, Lisa? What is the initial entry into getting into crypto? Do I pick a coin first? I mean, that alone is a big decision. There are over 16,000 choices.
Yes. Well, as you mentioned, there are thousands of altcoins right now. And so it gets really overwhelming to understand what you should be investing in, what's hype and what's FOMO. And so the first thing I ask women to do is before you even get into jumping in, understanding what is your appetite for risk when it comes to investing. So the first rule of investing is never invest more than you can lose and always diversify. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. And so I always say the first thing you should do is just get your feet wet. It is find a wallet that aligns with you and just start putting in your first dollar. A lot of times people think about they can't afford an entire Bitcoin. The point is you don't need to buy an entire Bitcoin. You can buy fractions of it. And so I always say, especially if you are not used to investing and this is a new asset class for you, you just need to take action. And even if that's just your first dollar and you have some skin in the game and you get comfortable with the ups and downs and the volatility that happens in crypto, that's when you start to feel more comfortable and you can say, okay, maybe I'll put 10, maybe I'll put 100. And so, the best way though, I think for new investors is dollar cost averaging.
So,
and that means—
Lisa, let me just jump in for a moment here because we're spending a lot of time talking about Bitcoin, but I wonder, are there certain digital coins that are the equivalent of a blue chip US stock versus a US Treasury bond versus an out of the money put option on a meme stock? I mean, there are different cryptocurrencies that have different risk profiles.
Sure. Yeah, well, the simplest way to get started really is to buy a stable coin. So stable coins are USDC, USDT, and the reason why it's stable is because it's pegged to the dollar. So it's, one USDC, $1. And so for someone who wants to get in and they're not comfortable yet, that's actually the easiest way, is just to buy some stable coins to get used to transacting and buying crypto on your Coinbase or whatever wallet that you're using. And so you start with that. And that's, I guess that would be your equivalent of bonds, really safe. And then the next one is, I call Bitcoin the granddaddy of crypto because he's the OG. And at the end of the day, if you look at the coins that have fallen and risen, Bitcoin and Ethereum are the only two that have really stayed at the top. And so if you're going to bet on anything, you bet on the OG. And I would say that's the next, I'm not going to say safe, but overall stable. You can count on, if any crypto is going to survive, it's going to be Bitcoin.
Gotcha.
But then the next one is Ethereum, and that's the one people are all talking about. And the reason why there's so much conversation around Ethereum is because the infrastructure of Ethereum allows for people to build on top of it. So NFTs are using Ethereum as the main platform. And with the trading volume, if you think about NFT trading volume, monthly trading volume, even the past month was 3.5 billion.
Wow.
And so all of that is increasing the activity on Ethereum.
Of course. Well, let's talk about NFTs, because if you're having doubts about crypto and the longevity of certain coins, I wonder what the argument is for NFTs. My brother is really into crypto, and it feels like he treats NFTs as just kind of a place to throw his crypto because he's never going to sell out because he believes in the movement too much. So what would your intro advice be on NFTs?
For someone who wants to get into it, so I am an investor fully in female-led NFT projects. There is something that I find incredible, is that almost all of the female-led NFT projects that I have minted have a charitable component. There's a give back because, for example, Women Rise NFT, they have a whole mission and vision for the project that they're going to create, but a percentage of those assets also go back to women and girls' education. So you see a lot of NFTs creating this door for women to enter crypto because it actually aligned with their values. So a few things to look at is, do I resonate with the values of this project? Are the founders truly engaged? And you can go on Twitter to see how engaged they are. And every NFT project has a Discord community. So you can just join that Discord community and you can see, are they truly engaging with the audience, asking great questions, adding value, or do they have a lot of spam bots just making it look like that there's a lot of activity?
That's so helpful, Lisa. I was going to ask you about that as well, just in terms of determining long-term potential or growth, not just for an NFT project, but also for cryptocurrencies in general. Is it true that Twitter, Discord, even Reddit are the best ways to suss that out?
Yeah, definitely. Twitter, Discord is where the crypto community is. And so if that's something that you're not familiar with, the first step is really going on Twitter and following some interesting crypto voices, people who you think have great opinions or are, trading different tokens or buying different NFTs that you find interesting. So it's really around, I think what I love about crypto is that there are communities for every type of personality, every type of person. And the difference between this financial system versus our old one is that whatever project you participate in, you also own it. And this sense of access and ownership is so revolutionary compared to our previous economic system, where it's about a central authority controlling your data and controlling your assets.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I wonder to what extent, though, women are taught to be cautious from a young age, right? And men are not as much so. I mean, for women who are listening to this and thinking just about what they've heard about crypto, that it's dipped a ton and it feels like a volatile investment, what's your message to them to sell them on getting involved in crypto still?
Yeah. Well, I think at the end of the day, I always go to the big why. And it goes back to the fact that we have a financial system that has been controlled by a certain type of person. It's the hetero white male who controls our entire economic system. And it's a centralized system where, if you think about every time we make a transaction on our credit cards, there's a central authority taking a percentage of every single thing that you do. And it's only making the rich richer. And that means anyone who's on the periphery, that's women, that's underrepresented individuals, that's the non-wealthy, it's a zero-sum game. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer, the people on the outside stay on the outside. And if blockchain is really creating a new digital economic system, as women, we cannot afford to sit on the sideline and watch another boys club get created.
Well, speaking of another boys club, I feel like the metaverse is a perfect example of another boys club because it's all tied up into gaming as well. And Maddie, I know that there's a lot of intersection between cryptocurrencies and metaverse, but being new to the crypto world, you and I haven't really figured that part out yet.
Exactly. Yeah, Lisa, it feels like the metaverse is yet another area where women are going to hear about all of the like jargon and big dollar investments and feel tapped out and feel like it's not for them. What is the big picture here, right? We've talked about NFTs, we've talked crypto, we've talked metaverse. What is the big takeaway that you want female investors listening to this to really try to internalize when they're thinking about where to put their money?
Yeah, I mean, I think overall, when you think about money, money is a commodity. I think of a lot of times money is energy. It's just exchanging value. And so when you think about the future of the way we interact and the way we live, there's going to be metaverses. It's going to be multiverse world that we're going to live in. And so the way you use your money is really an indication of what you value as a unique individual. So you could go into this metaverse and say, I value these assets and I'm going to put my money into this area to showcase that this is what I care about. And I want to own a piece of this asset because it aligned with my values. Whereas someone else, they could go to a completely different metaverse and say, you know what, I want to live here and build spaceships all day because that is what I believe my money should go to. And if you think of, that's how NFTs are working right now, because there are some people who want to get Bored Apes and they want to join the Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT. And then on the other side, there's women who want to join Women Rise. They want to join female-led DAO projects. And so you are putting your money into projects and metaverses that you support. And so I think of it as like, overall, think about it. Your money has power. You get to vote with your dollar about the things that are going to be created in the future. And not only do you get a vote in it because of blockchain and the way the technology works, you also have ownership in it. And ultimately, that is going to give you the freedom to create a world that you want to see, but you can't create that if you don't get involved.
Lisa, thank you so much for joining us and explaining all of that. Really appreciate it. And we should note that you have a boot camp available for folks who want to learn more about crypto. I can't say the full name of it here, but the crypto boot camp is already started up and people can go to your Twitter to get more. Lisa Wang, partner at Checkmate Crypto, thanks so much for joining us.